people do not understand the issue of pain control.
All around the world, people are suffering unnecessarily, and they shouldn't have to.
Now, what can be more degrading to a person than to have them in severe pain when they're dying?
All this complicated regulation has effectively, practically stopped medical use of morphine.
The data shows that about 80% of the population do not have adequate access to pain treatment.
I think it's our right.
At the end of life, your value as a human being does not stop. You leave people who know you, who love you, who care about you, and the memories of how they last saw you is what keeps them going. And sometimes because somebody died in peace, with no pain, it's a good memory for those who are left behind, and it helps people cope with death.
I feel angry. I can't help being angry at that callousness. It is sheer arrogance of health. I am healthy, so what do I care about the others? I quite realize that to a large extent it's ignorance. I can understand that. But the unwillingness to hear about this, the unwillingness to act on it, the unwillingness to accept that anyone doesn't know everything, that makes me angry. The pain became worse, and then it went on increasing. She had all sorts of scans and things and a lot of stuff, but not pain medication. And then she came here. She couldn't move, and every possible site has a pressure sore. Her whole body. I mean, how can you turn somebody to a side? If only they had got the right advice, at least to have a water bed, there would be nobody who will tell them about it. And she's on that hard bed. I think this is absolutely essential, that their pain and other suffering must be removed as much as possible to enable people to live first and then die with dignity. And the emotional consequences that found the family also should not be forgotten.
All of our research in studying patients in developing and developed countries tells us 2/3 of patients with advanced disease have significant pain. The scale of this issue is enormous.
Our doctors, our health professionals, maybe all over the world, their focus is cure. And when you are challenged by diseases which have no cure, are we really preparing our doctors to respond to those diseases?
There's no question that there's a dichotomy between the issues of cure and the issues of care. But I think what we've come to recognize so clearly is that in our attempt to provide cure, we've lost our way in providing care for them.
It's not a question of resources, really. Pain medication, basic pain medication, can be very inexpensive. It's there, it's lying there. It's just not getting to the man who needs it.
It's because of myths, it's because of standard practices that haven't been changed, it's because of fear of addictions.
Many developing countries still have a real problem about the use and the importation and manufacture of morphine.
There's such a huge social fear of the use of pain medications that often, even when medicines are made available, patients and their family caregivers are afraid to use them.
There's this unrealistic fear of morphine, opiophobia. Maybe it's mainly a question of lack of understanding.
It will take cooperation. We in pain management must work hand in hand with regulators and governments and clinicians.
If we could change registration and policy around the use of opioids, that could make access so much easier.
Anybody that's watched somebody that they love die
in pain never leaves them. It's a permanent scar.